For decades, marketing wizards have been making game trailers to get you to feel like Spider-Man. Whether it be through jaw-dropping live-action scenes, radical motion controls, or whatever that is.
I'll blow this town to smithereens.
Today, we're swinging into action to rank every Spider-Man game trailer since 1982, separating the true masters of marketing from the common cash grabber. We'll even take a peek at the audience score of each game to see if fans at the time agree with my rankings. Without further ado, let's dive on into every Spider-Man game trailer ranked. Spider-Man 1982. Released for the Atari 2600 and considered one of the first ever video games to feature a superhero, though not the most exciting looking game compared to like today's standards. So how did they try to sell it back in the day? Through an awesomely goofy trailer, that's how.
I'll blow this town to smithereens. Time bomb. Try to get up there in time, Spider-Man.
Watch me cut my web, Goblin.
Watch yourself fall, Silk Slinger.
Gotta stop the bombs in time.
If I don't get you, webhead, my diagnosis will.
Holy Hannah!
And you're running out of fluid.
Is this more action than even Spider-Man could handle?
Whoa.
I love the Goblin is just like a toxic backseat gamer in this trailer. Like absolutely harassing Spidey. On top of that, look how Spidey's sitting. That can't be good for peak gamer performance.
Back. Oh, my back.
For being the first Spidey game, there's not too much excitement in the actual gameplay, I'm gonna be honest. So making this amazing set piece with surprisingly good costumes for both Spidey and Goblin, paired with a cool rooftop backdrop with smokestacks and the depth to the building layering, it's good. It's good at distracting you from the actual game, which visually looked meh. Like I get it, it's like 1982, like E.T. was fucking crazy. I still love the effort that was given, especially for the time. So it gets an A and an audience score of 6 out of 10. Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin, 1991. The trailer is it's more propaganda for the Sega Genesis more than like a Spider-Man game.
Sega introduces Spider-Man with real web-slinging action.
Give us Genesis! Genesis!
New Streets of Rage. You control 40 incredible moves.
Gotta get Genesis like nothing ever before. Genesis is so much more.
Sega Genesis gives you more real villains, hot graphics, and killer two-player action.
Genesis!
It's a whole lot more.
Genesis! Gotta get Genesis!
The hook of this trailer is that it has real web swinging action. I played this game a few months ago and I can honestly say this is one Spidey game I prefer walking around than web swinging in. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to judge since it's not its own trailer as it shares it with Streets of Rage. But as far as trailers go, I gotta rank it low with an F tier. Unless you lose your shit at the sight of Spider-Man, it's not a great trailer, I'm just gonna be honest. The audience score is a surprising 7 out of 10. Spider-Man 3: Invasion of the Spider Slayers, 1993.
Swing into action against Razorwing, bolt-firing Spider Slayers in the all-new Spider-Man 3: Invasion of the Spider Slayers for Game Boy from LJN.
Yeah, that was just an infomercial for something like you wake up at 3 a.m., half asleep before like George Lopez comes on. The first two games in this series didn't even get a trailer, and I don't really count this one either. So I'm gonna give it an F tier. The game itself didn't look bad being a Game Boy game in 1993, so I don't understand why this ad was just a picture of the box with some voiceover. I get it if it was like an unknown character that general public didn't know, but it was freaking Spider-Man on the Game Boy. That's just lazy in my opinion. That's an F tier, no question about it, and an audience score of a 4 out of 10. Maximum Carnage, 1994.
New York City. Panic. terror, chaos, and that was before maximum carnage.
The art direction is amazing for a game called Maximum Carnage. With an ominous red sky on top of black and white footage, people running for their lives, and Peacemaker's racist stat? Closing out with a shot of a giant Carnage engulfing the city. The freshman year film bro in me is geeking. It sets the tone for the game, and honestly, I don't think it needs gameplay footage. The vibe alone got me hyped. The game speaks for itself for being the best side-scrolling beat-em-up Spidey game, so all the trailer really had to do is just get you interested, and it for sure does. Our first S tier with an audience score of 7 out of 10. Separation Anxiety, 1995. The sequel to the acclaimed Maximum Carnage got a polar opposite trailer. Like, so polar that Santa Claus is DLC in it. Seeing Spidey and Venom take on villains is cool and all, but for me, there has to be something visually striking that sells me on the concept. Especially on these older games that don't really have the most exciting looking gameplay footage. Compare this to Spider-Man 1982 even. The game looked like a bag of straws, but the creative effort that went into the trailer sells it better. That's a C tier and an audience score of 4 out of 10. Spider-Man 1995. The tie-in game with the 90s Spider-Man cartoon boasts a 20 villain gauntlet that Spidey's going to have to face.
No need to panic. Could be critical. The odds are against you. Spider-Man faces 20 supervillains so powerful even with the Fantastic Four. His number may be up. Marvel Spider-Man, the video game from Acclaim.
The tagline, "Beat the odds," is a banger. It conveys the tone of being put through the ringer as Spider takes on some of the most iconic villains from the animated series, like Venom, Shocker, Dr. Money Shot. It for sure uses more clips from the actual show than gameplay. If you're a kid in the 90s who woke up first thing Saturday morning to watch Spider-Man, you are already buying this game, good game trailer or not. I'll give it a B tier, with the audience score of 6 out of 10. Spider-Man 2000. At the turn of the century, we got the Spider-Man game that I felt changed the landscape of what a superhero game could be. There are two main trailers for this game. One is more gameplay focused, and the other one is split between gameplay and live action. The gameplay trailer, as exciting as it was, has a ton of flashes in it that give the Pokemon Porygon episode a run for its money, and I don't want to subject my viewers to that. Instead, we're going to focus on the live action trailer, which honestly, I liked more as a kid anyways.
Be Spider-Man. Swing from buildings. Shoot webs. Bring down the bad guys. And for the first time ever, you have all his cool spider powers.
Jim, the garbage isn't gonna take itself out.
You don't just play it, you live it.
Jim?
This is the original B/feel like Spider-Man marketing pitch. Whereas the gameplay trailer has more of like a 90s rad rock track for its music, but I feel like the classic 60s Batman music and sound effects represents the comic book inspired video game a lot better. Being that the presentation of the game is a lot more comic book heavy, and each level getting a comic book cover to them and characters behaving more like their comic counterparts. The narrator, who's not as rad as I would like him to be, does a great job highlighting all the new features in the game, emphasizing that for the first time ever, you have all the Spider-Man powers. And for the most part, in the game, you do. There's so much to do and see in this game. The second half of this trailer is the live action bit, starring peak 2000s boy. Hitting the themes of being Spider-Man again, his Spidey sense activates as his mom walks in to tell him to take out the trash. This is so relatable because I too avoid my responsibilities to play video games. The reveal of him being on the ceiling as his mom walks in is such a great shot and hits a message home. This is a peak trailer right here. A perfect balance of exciting gameplay and a funny live action bits that serve the overall theme of being Spider-Man. This was Baby Sox' first Spider-Man game, and the funny part is I didn't even own a PS1. I just bought a copy of the game and begged my parents to let me go to my uncle's house who had one, and I just played it there all the time. That's the only reason me and my uncle have a relationship. A no-brainer S rank with an audience score of 8 out of 10. Spider-Man Enter Electro 2001. Neversoft's Spidey game was so nice, they did it twice. Also, whatever happened to Neversoft? They used to make the raddest games like Pro Skater and Guitar Hero. And then they one day they just got Thanos snapped out of existence. So does anyone know? Are they okay? Can someone look that up? Just like the first game, this has 2 major trailers. The first one is your typical gameplay with the rock track, been there, done that. But the second is the Electro TV spot, and oh boy, this is something else.
Not so fast, Electro. Because Spider-Man's back, and you'll need more than the city's power supply to take on Spidey's ice and taser webbing, stellar new fighting combos, and 19 killer Spidey suits, all with different powers.
Hey, Electro! Who's got the power now?
Opening with the signature Spidey logo that transitions the player into a cutscene back in the first game, and using it in this trailer is such an underrated touch. For real, just bear with me here. It's such a little detail that elevates this live action bit even more. Players are familiar with it already, so when they see it in this trailer, they know something cool's about to go down. As we see probably the best live action Electro costume ever seen in media. As we see take on Spider-Man, who is packing some new heat, new web powers, combos, and suit powers? You spoil me, Neversoft. You spoil me. What happened to you? This badass trailer is wrapped up with a beautiful Spidey quip and an important question.
They're ready to fight, are you?
Yeah, I fucking am. Let's go! S-tier trailer with an audience score of 8 out of 10. Spider-Man Mysterio Menace 2001. Before we fully jump into the wonderful world of 3D Spider-Man games, let's make a quick pit stop at our friends at the Game Boy Advance. A simple trailer with just gameplay and audio track. Nothing really blows my mind. I do appreciate how much smoother it looks than previous side-scrolling Spider-Man games, and being on the Game Boy, it lets it have a very fun and vibrant art style. There's just nothing that wows me that I have to go buy this, so not bad. C tier with an audience score of 7 out of 10. Could be worse. Spider-Man the Movie 2002. This is when my Spider-Man obsession started to take full stride. I remember getting into trouble having my copy of Spider-Man 1 on DVD, playing on the living room TV, and then bringing my parents' smaller TV from their bedroom to play the game while I watched the movie. A move my mom would call overdoing it? This trailer has such a strong start to it with this nicely animated web fire. It was so cool to see the detail as the web shot constructed itself. Truly a cinematic advancement of technology. Unfortunately, the trailer plateaus from here on out. don't get me wrong, it's a nicely edited montage from the game, but I feel like nothing wows me about the game, which is sad because the movie counterpart was like revolutionary. This trailer with a got milk font style gets a hard B and an audience score of 8 out of 10. Spider-Man 2, the movie game. This game I did not play in the living room for reasons I don't need to explain to you.
This is the city I protect. New York City. It's my home. My playground. My responsibility.
If you remember, people loved to praise Spider-Man 2, the movie game, for the web swinging. And the marketing team knew that. Because for more than half of this trailer is just showing off the web swing. Which is all fine and dandy because, yes, in fact, the web swing is fucking baller. I do wish we got to see a bit, just a bit more. The world building is nice with its like police and criminals having a shootout and the hustle and bustle of New York traffic, but we only get to see one villain and it's the shocker.
This may come as a shock to you.
It's a weird directional choice for a game that has some of the most nuanced story elements in its early 2000s Spidey game. I just felt like this brought the rank down. It brought it down, and I hate to say this, you're gonna hate me, but I give it a B. It's a B. But hey, it got an audience score of 8 out of 10. I'm gonna start being a bit more critical with these trailers because we're reaching the era of games being more cinematic with how they are presented. Especially with games that have a big budget or have tie-in movies with them. Ultimate Spider-Man 2005. I remember this one being so stylish. I mean, it had to be, right? It's the Ultimate Spider-Man series. It was so different from the 616 version. Okay, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. This trailer feels like, I'm serious. Don't get mad at me. This trailer feels like a CW show. I said not to get mad. It just has this like aura of melodrama. This isn't a bad thing. It fits the style of the game well. I love that all the cutscenes in the trailer are directly from the game. The battle between good and evil, hero and villain, Spider-Man and Venom is a simple premise, but an effective one, especially when the trailer tells you that you get to play as both Spidey and Venom. Then they wrap that all up in this amazing comic book package. Yeah, I'm pretty hooked, dog. I'm buying this game like day one. S tier trailer with an audience score of 9 out of 10. Spider-Man Battle for New York 2006.
Wow, you're new here, aren't you?
This is like a discount Ultimate Spider-Man trailer. And not in a bad way, per se. The game itself is a prequel to Ultimate Spider-Man, and it's on the handheld console like the DS. So of course it's not going to be on the same level as the console version. But I do like it follows the same themes of good and evil with a comic book art style. So far, it's the most effort a handheld game has gotten, and I know it's not a high bar, but I do respect it with a A rank and an audience score of 5 out of 10. Spider-Man 3, the movie. Just like the rest of the world, I was swept into the craziness that was the Wii motion controls. And when it came time to choose which version of Spider-Man 3 I wanted to get, this trailer made that choice crystal clear.
Hey, yo, whoa, hold on there, Mike. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Drop the shoe and discover the power of being Spider-Man. Lights down for mood and get swinging. Nice height, good form. Ooh, nice flip. I think the Russian judges are gonna like this. Now this is a great way to beat the traffic. Okay, now you're just showing off. Psst, dude.
The part where he slide runs with the controller, my boy brain fucking exploded. Like I can do that? Me? A normal boy from southern Missouri? This trailer has the same energy as Spider-Man 2000 with the gameplay showcase tied within live action footage, but with the added benefit of Bruce freaking Campbell doing a voiceover. What more could you ask for? This trailer has an epic score that fits with the tone of Spidey 3. The game seems massive, had some iconic bosses, generally looked like a blast to play, and if you played it long enough, you get a black shirt and an iFunny account. S tier with an audience score of 6 out of 10. Friend of Foe 2007. When I saw this trailer, I was so excited to play a multiplayer Spidey game with my little cousins who were just getting into video games at the time. And having a Wii made that so much easier.
He's fought the best in 3 epic films. What's left to do?
Spidey, it's your ride.
Get a little help from your foes. Defeat Spider-Man's greatest enemies to make them his closest allies.
Though definitely targeted more towards kids with his Raimi-verse art style and its very appealing, vibrant color palette and pretty unique character designs. It's actually a refreshing style compared to the more serious looks the Raimi movie games have. I love the game trailer wears its gimmick on its sleeves, fighting iconic Spidey villains, then turning them into playable allies. It's a good pitch, especially when those villains were iconic versions from the movies. It's good about balancing gameplay from both Spidey and his villains and then incorporating cinematic shots. It does feel a little flat in the sense that nothing really pops out at you. None of the combat feels very punchy or very exciting, which might just be the trailer's fault, but I also bored of the game early on, but I'm glad my cousins got into it. I'll give it a B tier at best with an audience score of 7 out of 10. Spider-Man Web of Shadows 2008. If you watched this video, you know I committed a crime to play this game because the trailer was just that good. And if you want to learn how I pulled off the crime of a century, watch that video in the description below. The moment I watched this trailer as a kid, my jaw was on the fucking floor. It was so different from any other Spider-Man game trailer I'd seen. It didn't have an upbeat rock anthem or humorous Bruce Campbell riffs. The stark differences in combat between the red suit and the black suit, the thrilling set pieces, and the glorious shot of a Godzilla-like Venom versus Spider-Man, all of that combined to create a Spider-Man game experience unlike anything I've ever seen before. All I knew was that I must have this game. But how does this trailer hold up as an adult? It's still fucking sick. S tier doesn't do this trailer justice. I'm gonna say it's an ultimate S tier with an audience score of 8 out of 10. Spider-Man Toxic City 2009. I'd hate to be the game trailer following Web of Shadows, but everything deserves a fair shot, right? Sick, bro. Oh shit. Sorry. I was just watching the Web of Shadows trailer again. For GameSoft's first Spidey game, it doesn't look bad. The art style feels like a traditional, GBA title, but unfortunately, it's just like a gameplay montage. So let's see here it goes. I'm gonna finish this trailer again.
What has become of my city?
Thank you guys so much for watching part 1 of my Spider-Man trailer ranking video. Some of these trailers live rent-free in my brain, and it was fun to unlock some of these memories with y'all. Which trailer caught your eye the most? Or just downright looked awful? Comment below and let me know. I have plenty of more trailers to talk about in part 2, from Shattered Dimensions to Marvel's Spider-Man 2, so stay tuned next week. Until next time, smooth winds and safe travel, mates.